believe it, nobody, including myself. I thought I would have been nervous, but I wasn't, you know, I was just so positive in my thinking. And I just told them my managerial philosophy, you know, what I did, what I expected from the players, what I expected from my own staff, you know, and if everybody's willing to work hard and all that, there's a great opportunity to hopefully bring success back to the club.
Thomas charging through the midfield. Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end.
The biggest success came on an unforgettable night at Anfield in 1989 when Michael Thomas's dramatic late goal gave Arsenal the title. Back in North London, the fans headed for Highbury to celebrate.
Totally outplayed them, didn't they? Totally outplayed them. Liverpool just weren't in it, was they?
2 years later, the fans and players got to party together as the team were crowned champions again, but this time on home turf. The match against Manchester United turned into one long celebration, with even the opponents acknowledging the Gunners' achievement of losing only once all season.
Well, it was fabulous, like, so at that game in particular, I wanted the lads to go out in style. I wanted us to go out and beat Manchester United, and we had a fantastic result, great performance. Alan Smith scored 3 goals. I mean, that was just the icing on the cake. It was fantastic, and everybody celebrated, not just the players and all the staff. The fans celebrated as well, and that was the good times, you know, that Arsenal deserved.
I have to ask you, as a Scot and as a manager, have you ever thrown a teacup in here?
No, probably kicked the skip used to always be here, you know, full of bits and pieces. Probably have kicked that a few times and raised my voice a few times, had quite a few arguments with players. I always used to say to people, that didn't bother me, and I hope it didn't bother the players, as long as I get the right reaction from them.
Each man in charge has had his own unique style, and in 1996 Arsenal appointed the more studious Arsène Wenger. The Frenchman has become the most successful manager in the club's history and has formed a very special bond with Highbury.
I just realised now that that is my ideal seat, where I should sit in every game, but I never managed to stay here, you know. And I think even the look, the sight is fantastic without the team on it. I just feel now I missed for many years the ideal view of my team. So it is sad to be separated. It's like an end of a love story, you know. It's part of my life. Every minute of a manager is an obsession about his club and his team. So that obsession, the target was always to be perfect here. And that's the moment where you see if what you worked on is presentable or not. And I must say I have been spoiled for years by what the team produced here.
What a move, what a goal, what a team.
I say Highbury is a physical experience. Sometimes I realize when you drive down there, the game starts with the coach. When you see people waiting, the road is full of people, and that's where you go out, where you get your first encouragement for the game. When you come in here, everybody becomes a little bit, goes into himself and focuses on the game, and that's where the sport becomes lonely. You're faced with your own anxiety as a player. That's where the tension really starts. We remind them a few things before they go out for the warm-up and before they go out for the game. But the big speeches are all done in the hotel before the games. Half-time, that is a moment that you cannot miss. That you have a few minutes to correct things that don't work, a few minutes to rebuild confidence of the players who have lost confidence in their game. Sometimes you have players who have treatment in the medical room. And just before I make my speech, we isolate the team again. Even the subs are not involved there anymore. We close the doors, and then I speak about what we want to do in the second half. If I invite you here for one game, you will come out and say, I haven't seen anything because it's too quick. But when you're used to it, you realize that slowly you get a good vision of what's happening. Well, sometimes it's very tense because it's very, very close here. And you know the tunnel as well. When you go in at half-time, physically it was very, very, very close contact. I feel over years we have always felt strength in here, you know. Many teams came here terrified and just expected to lose because we had built up a reputation of the quality of our game. It's a place of high emotion, you know. That's where euphoria exists and depression live together. And it can go from one second to the next, from one to the other one. But I must say it was more euphoria in the years I've spent here than depression.
If Chapman's ideas defined Arsenal for the 20th century, then Arsène Wenger is having a similar influence on the 21st. He's been instrumental in the building and design of the club's state-of-the-art training complex at London Colney, and has actively been involved with some of the unique features at Emirates, such as the curved dressing room, so every player will be equidistant from him for those pre-match team talks. He's creating a lasting legacy.
If there was to be a bust of Wenger in the new stadium, it would be quite fitting in the sense that if Chapman was responsible for making Arsenal and Highbury what it is, Wenger is responsible for making the new stadium what we hope it's going to be. Because without Wenger, there would be no new stadium over the road.
As much as an influence that Herbert Chapman had on Arsenal Football Club, Wenger has, you know, matched it.
To be honest with you, I would say that Arsène Wenger has surpassed in his way in creating a new ground, the Emirates Stadium.
You try to give an impulse to your club to go higher up, and I hope that maybe in 20, 30, 40 years people will remember that there were some crazy people here on the board and the managers who tried to push that club into a new era. And I feel would be very proud to think that the next manager comes in here has all the attributes to make of this club even a bigger club and a stronger club.
I always think that the football ground in many ways epitomises a club, and Highbury tells you everything that you need to know about the style of Arsenal and the dignity.
It's a great structure. Whenever you have cause to go in through the East Stand, through the marble halls, you feel quite sort of privileged to be there. I feel you have to talk in very hushed tones when you're in there, actually.
Could be a picture palace, couldn't it, of the 1920s or 30s. You could be going to the pictures to see a great Hollywood movie, or you could be going to a great art house or something, and you're going to a football club.
The Art Deco East and West stands give Highbury its unique look, and both are protected as listed buildings. Unsurprisingly, the great Herbert Chapman was involved in their conception, along with a very talented architect.
This chap here is Claude Waterlow-Ferrier, and as the plaque says, to whose genius this stand is a lasting memorial. Well, Claude was an architect in the West End in partnership with a chap called William Binney, and the very fact that Arsenal even hired him says a lot about the club's aspirations at the time, because he wasn't just an ordinary football ground architect. He was a man who was very much in love with all things French. He'd been over to the Paris exhibition in 1925. He'd seen the very beginnings of Art Deco, and this stand that we're sitting in here now encapsulates many of the ideas that he and Herbert Chapman would have worked on together. This is the upper deck of the West Stand.